your standards for who you let come inside of you, because it's not my fault you fucked your life up. Just because you make bad life choices doesn't mean I'm going to change my jokes. So, how's that? Good. I'm happy with that. I like to piss people off. It's the only joy I have left in life. Once upon a time, I was doing some jokes. I did some jokes about the Jews, which apparently you're not supposed to do, right? Because right in the middle of the show, this big fat Jew bastard stands up in the back of the room, right? Huge fucking guy, which, by the way, I don't know how you can get that fat without eating bacon, but whatever, right? Clearly, the guy's a bad Jew to begin with. Right? And the thing is, the joke wasn't even that offensive. All I said was, I said, I'm reading a good book right now. It's called Hide and Seek for Dummies by Anne Frank. Chapter 1, titled Shh. Yes. That joke requires at least a GED to fully be appreciated, so I don't blame you if you didn't get it. I blame the public education system. Yeah. Another time I was doing some jokes. I was at a cigar bar. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a cigar bar before. Probably not, because it's a fancy place. But what you do is, instead of drinking beer, you drink wine, right? You wear a tie, you smoke a cigar, fancy place. Well, in the middle of the front row, there was a large group of black people. And I mean a lot, like Atlanta airport amount of black people, which it's not even racist. If you've never been there, that's just true. Nothing weird about that, though, right? Black people are fancy, too. I've seen Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, whatever, right? But this particular group, they were ghetto. They were thugs, gangsters, scary-looking dudes at a fancy show. So I have to say something when I get up there. I have a big mouth. So the first thing I say when I get on stage is, holy shit, I didn't know Newport made cigars. And that's just funny. That's not even... That's just funny. Yeah, cool. What else? Recently moved to Las Vegas. My favorite thing about this city, all the casinos have handicapped parking spots, which I think is hilarious when you think about it, because let's face it, folks, if you're handicapped, hasn't God made it abundantly clear that you're not lucky? I'm not being a dick, I'm just saying you might not want to waste all that luck at the craps table, you know? You might need to hold on to some of that for a new kidney or whatever, but... I've been on these internet dating sites because I look like Boots the Monkey from Dora the Explorer, so... I know, that's fine. I don't give a shit. But I don't know if you know this, they have a dating site for people with STDs. Yeah, it's true. They have a dating site for people with STDs, and the only reason I know that is because I'm a member. Yeah. Now, I don't have STDs, but what I do is I use this website to cross-reference other dating websites, right? Which is fucking genius. You should do it if you're online. Save yourself a trip to the doctor. But people will say things like, they'll say, I have HIV or I have herpes, which makes sense because that's what the site's for. You don't want to give that to somebody that doesn't have it. I understand. But then people will say things like, I have chlamydia or I have gonorrhea, which are both curable diseases. It's like, you know, the $40 you spent subscribing to the site, you could have just fixed yourself up. Like, you didn't have to change your life because of that. People always ask me if I'm afraid of getting AIDS. I'm not afraid of getting AIDS, because I don't know if you know this, folks. You can't get AIDS unless you get tested. Yeah. See, it turns out that's how you get it, right? All this time they thought it was intravenous drug use or unsafe sex. No, just don't get tested and you'll grow old and die of what people assume is pneumonia. And you can maintain your dignity. Because unfortunately, there's no honor in dying from AIDS, and there should be, right? Because if you have AIDS, you fucking earned it. If you have AIDS, you were doing something awesome, right? You were doing some cool drugs, you were sleeping with some awesome women. Either way, you got a story to tell, right? It's not like cancer. What's your story with cancer, right? You got AIDS, you got a good story. It's like, yeah, I did some blow, I fucked a prostitute, good story, right? What's your story with cancer? I was standing in front of a microwave, like, oh. It's a real shame your life's gonna be cut short, seeing as though you enjoyed it so much. Sorry if anyone has cancer. This show. I don't really care. I don't really care. If that's true, why would you say that out loud at a comedy thing? You think I'm going to show sympathy for your dead mom? I don't give a shit. Just being honest, folks. I'm a sociopath, all right? Really, after the Holocaust jokes, you think I'm going to care about some guy's cancered mom? Please. I'm going to make this a lot darker. Fuck you guys, just for that. One person speaks out, everyone suffers for it. I'm playing a good video game right now. It's called the 9/11 Flight Simulator. Easiest video game in the world. In fact, the only way you can lose is if you actually land the plane. That's what happens when you say stuff like that. I'm sorry. We're going darker. They say the formula for comedy is tragedy plus time equals comedy. I respectfully disagree. I believe the formula is tragedy plus pie equals comedy, as in a pie in the face. Because, like, the Holocaust was terrible, right? But if they had thrown pies in all the Jews' faces before they killed them, you would have to laugh every time they showed it on the History Channel. Just leads me to believe that any terrible thing can be made funny if you preface it with a pie in the face, right? Because, like, rape's not generally a funny subject, but you went home tonight and turned on the local news and saw a story about a serial rapist whose signature is that he throws a pie in his victim's face to match the one that he leaves in their twat. You could not in good faith turn that man in because it's funny. And folks, it's not rape if it's funny. Seriously, if you start raping a girl and she laughs at you in the middle of it, who's the real victim? That's all I'm saying. There. You happy? You happy now? Does that make up for your mom? I'm sorry. Anyone else have objections? All right. I had an oatmeal cream pie the other day. You guys know what an oatmeal cream pie is? Oatmeal cream pie, that's when you come inside of an Amish chick. Oatmeal cream pie. You guys are... I was having fun until that cancer thing. Now I just hate. I don't want you guys to be happy. If I could somehow tell a joke that would cause your brains to actually explode, that would be ideal. So, what's the deal with airline food, right? That's wacky shit. I'm going to that. Trying to think what I can transition into. Maybe I'll just leave. One last joke. Here we go. We'll do this. Knock, knock. Go fuck yourselves.